right. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Mr. Williams, and today I would like to talk about respect. Are you being respectful, and are you being respected? So the first question we have to ask ourselves, what is respect? Okay, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, it's an act of giving particular attention, admiring, or looking up to someone because that person has done something extraordinary or because they possess an impressive ability. Who must be respected, respectful, or respected? Honest answer, everyone. We must respect our parents. We must respect our siblings. We must respect our teachers. We definitely want to respect anyone who has any level of authority over us. And as most importantly of all, we want to be respectful to ourselves. What must be respected? Everything. We should respect someone's abilities. We want to respect each other's inabilities. We want to respect each other's disabilities. We want to respect our country. We want to respect our home. We want to respect our parents. We want to respect everything about everyone, and we want to be respected in the same. When should we be respectful and respected? Always. There is never a time when it's okay not to respect someone else or to be respected by someone. It doesn't matter where we are. We should always be respectful, whether we're in school, whether we're at home, whether we're outside playing with our friends. We must always be respectful. Where must we be respectful and respected? Everywhere. Doesn't matter, again, if we're at school or we're outside with our friends, we're at home with our parents. We must, if we're in a restaurant even, we must always be respectful and be respected. And understand that even if someone is not respecting you, you have to be respectful in the manner in which you let them know that they're not respecting you. You can't just yell at them because they're not respecting you, because that doesn't get us anywhere. If we continue the circle of disrespect, it doesn't end like a circle. It has no beginning, it has no end. So someone has to stop and be respectful, and in order to teach someone else to be respectful. Why must we be respectful? Well, because it is the right thing to do. We want everyone to feel like they are important, just like we want everyone to make us feel as though we are important. And the only way that happens is if we all are respectful and ensure that we are respected. Now, I've talked about the 5 W's as to what respect is, who should be respected, where and when, and even why. But if you don't understand how to be respectful, then it's very difficult. So that's what I want to talk about next, how to be respectful. And basically, even though I gave you a definition, the easiest way to think about respect is about being nice. So if you are respectful, generally you're being nice. You're making someone feel as though he or she is important. Okay, so the very first way in order to be respectful is to be nice, both to yourself and to others. Okay, and then you want to respect property. What does that mean? Well, you want to take as good a care of your own property as possible. For example, if your shoes have a place in which they're supposed to be when you take them off your feet, then that's where you should put them. Throwing them on the floor or throwing them on the living room floor is not taking care of property. Okay? And at the same time, you don't want to take something from someone that doesn't belong to you without asking. And if you ask to borrow something, you want to return it in as good a condition as when you got it. Okay? Now, when we talk about respect, one of the videos that I watched yesterday while trying to do this talked about cooperation and obedience. And basically, for example, if a sibling, your brother or your sister asks you to help them clean up a mess that they have made, your first thought might be, you're not the boss of me. I don't have to help. But again, if we're going to be respectful, okay, we can help them because it's something that is right and is reasonable. Okay? It's not unreasonable for one of our brothers or sisters to ask us to help with a project they need to accomplish. And it's right that they wish to clean it up. So it's something that you can do. The only time you should not cooperate with someone, especially when you talk about someone who is important to us, someone we respect, is if they're asking you to do something that is either not right or is unreasonable. Okay? And as I said, in the videos and the research that I did, they talked about obeying. Well, who should you obey? Well, you don't necessarily have to obey a sibling unless parents have said that that's something you have to do. But you definitely have to obey your parents and guardians. You definitely need to obey your teachers. And the answer, and the easy answer, comes down to you basically have to obey any person who has some type of authority over you. What types of people are those? Well, teachers, policemen, obviously parents, and any siblings that parents have put in charge. Those are people who have some level of authority over us. We have to respect them. And respecting them is doing as they ask us to do. Okay? Now, I've talked for a minute or so. I don't know exactly how long. But what I want to do now is actually show you a video. So I'm going to do that now.
It was cold, it was rainy, and Mrs. Ruler's class hadn't been outside all week. The students were getting jumpy and grumpy. Anaya and Tawana whispered during story time. David pulled Rockwellita's ponytail, and Rockwellita stole his hat. Then David grabbed Connor's hat and threw it in the hall.
That's enough. Too rough.
The bell rang. It was time for recess. As the kids left, Mrs. Ruler kept Anaya, Tawana, Connor, Rockwellita, and David behind.
Sit down. Don't frown. Now tell me, why do you think I've kept you in from recess?
We were acting up.
That's right. You were being mean to one another. And you acted as if it's cool to be mean. But it's not. What is a cooler way to act?
Kindness is cooler, Mrs. Ruler.
Bravo! A slice of nice makes a mile of smile. You 5 need to practice being kind. During the next few days, I want you to perform 5 acts of kindness for your families. Then, in show and tell, you can share what you did with the rest of the class.
David scowled.
What if we don't feel like being kind?
Mrs. Ruler smiled.
Good deeds fill needs. Count on me, you'll see.
The next day, Anaya and Tawana couldn't wait for show and tell. When it was their turn, they ran to the front of the class.
We did 10 acts of kindness last night. Before dinner, I made special placemats.
I set the table.
I drew hearts on the napkins to show Mom we love her.
I grated the cheese for the macaroni.
I helped make the salad.
After dinner, we carried the dishes to the sink.
And I loaded the dishwasher.
While I took out the garbage.
Then I sponged off the table.
And I straightened up the chairs. Mom told us how much she liked our homework. It put her in such a good mood that we want to do more nice things for her.
Bravo! 10 acts of kindness will lead to more. Give me the chalk and I'll keep score.
She wrote the twins' deeds on the blackboard. When she was finished, she looked at David.
What about you? Did you practice too?
No, I just couldn't get into it.
Oh my, please try. Kindness is cooler.
After school, Raquelita invited Connor over for a play date. She had a new dog and a big family, so there were lots of ways Raquelita and Connor could practice being kind. In show and tell, the next day, they shared kindness with the class.
We took Puddles for a walk, and we threw him a ball.
I filled his water dish.
And I gave him some puppy chow.
Puppy chow? Wow!
Then we built a block tower with my little brother and gave Abuelo and Abuelita their canes before they took a walk.
We also helped Raquelita's dad carry in the groceries from the car.
And I gave my baby sister her bottle.
I count 8, and 8 is great.
That's not all. When I got home, I took in the mail. I also carried the clean laundry upstairs.
Bravo! All together, you did 10. And how much do the twins' 10, Axe, and your 10 make?
20!
20 is plenty. But how about you, David? What did you do?
Too few for you. I told my brother I liked his haircut. Then I let him use my comb. That's all I could think of.
Well, that's a good start. Keep doing your part.
Then Lauren raised her hand and said, I'd like to try some acts of kindness when I get home today, too.
Okay, hooray! Let's turn this into a class project. For the rest of the week, I'd like you to bring in some acts of kindness you've done at home. I'll write your acts on paper hearts and put them on the bulletin board, and I'll also add the ones from the blackboard.
Put away clothes, vacuumed living room rug, shelved books, let my big brother use my computer, told Dad I liked his shirt, got sister a Band-Aid when she skinned her knee, cleaned my room, fed goldfish, emptied wastebaskets, watered houseplants, put groceries away, drew pictures with my little sister, told my sister that she has nice teeth.
We have so many, we'll need another wall. Let's count.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The kids counted until they reached 35.
Bravo! Now let's try skip counting by 5s.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
That's right. You're bright. We should keep going with this project. Now let's try some acts of kindness at school. I'll add those to the wall too. Don't forget, a slice of nice makes a mile of smile.
As Mrs. Ruler kept cutting out more hearts, Connor and Pablo tried some school kindness too. They invited David to sit with them at lunch. But when they finished their sandwiches, David took one of Connor's cookies.
Hey, quit it.
He grabbed David's lunch bag and threw it over his head.
Stop! Don't you remember what Mrs. Ruler said? Good deeds fill needs. David, don't grab, and Connor, you still have 4 cookies. Why don't you share them with David and me?
Oops. You're right. For a moment, I forgot about being kind. I agree. Here are 3. Yum. I'm going to ask my babysitter to help me make cookies when I get home.
And then you can bring them to school.
And share them with the whole class. And Miss Ruler will congratulate me for being extra kind. But I still won't have done as many acts of kindness as everyone else.
So think of other things to catch up.
David didn't have to think for too long. That afternoon, when Caitlin was cleaning the gerbils cage, the gerbils got loose. One even jumped to the window ledge. Mrs. Ruler hopped on a chair.
Eek! Squeak!
Everyone ran for cover. Everyone but David. He chased the gerbils. He scooped them up one by one, then he set them back where they belonged.
Hooray for David!
did. Your act of kindness was the best. Now go on home and do the rest.
She jumped off the chair and added the acts of kindness from that week to the wall. Mrs. Ruler and the class counted up all the hearts. By now, the class had done 70 acts of kindness.
That's great. But wait, there's more in store. Let's keep going and spread some kindness beyond school. There are lots of kind acts you can do in the community.
But we're just little kids. How can we do stuff outside our house and school?
I'll ask your parents to work with you on community kindness, and I'll help too. All it takes is one simple act, one act of kindness that will make the world a better place. If you act from your heart and do your part, we'll end up with 100 acts of kindness all together.
Now the class was really excited, and David was more excited than anyone. A few weeks later, the kids shared their acts of community kindness. Mrs. Ruler added more hearts to the wall. Again, the class counted 1, 2, 3, until they got to 99.
Oh no! Uh-oh! We still need one more.
Then she paused and thought for a moment.
I know! Let's have a class party. We'll decorate and celebrate.
100 acts of kindness!